Hi, Joe Ray.
How's it going? We're just waiting on the now. You can,
Okay.
you can me.
Joe Ray, can you put me in a room with Mr. Stribling?
Wait your turn.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the 187 District Court. Happy Tuesday. Let's keep it a Tuesday. Let's not try to turn this into a Monday. As everyone knows, in the 187 District Court, it's first come, first serve for the attorneys. These are the rules of the 187 District Courtroom. You are in a courtroom. If you do not behave as though you are in a courtroom, your Zoom privileges will be revoked. It doesn't matter if you're out of county, out of state, out of country, you will be required to appear in the 187th District Court in person. And that will involve you taking an Uber or a Lyft or taking a Via. If you take the Via, you're going to have to scrape together some change. If you're driving downtown, as you can see, the weather is muggy. There's a lot of construction going on and a lot of one-ways. If you're lucky enough to find parking, you're going to find that parking is very expensive. So let's keep this a Monday. Let's not try to turn it into a Tuesday. Galaxy A11 with the hood on. What is your name? Galaxy A11 with the eyeglasses. What is your name? Yes, what is your name? Yes, the person with the eyeglasses on, the goatee, what is your name?
Orlando Treviño.
All right, to all of the defendants, those people who are accused of offenses, you are not to let your video go blank. If your video goes black, what's going to end up happening is you're going to be required to appear in the 187 District Court in person and your Zoom privileges will be revoked. To all the inmates, you're not allowed to use the chat box. You're not allowed to use the internet. You're not allowed to use Facebook. And if you do any of those things, you will be sent back. And as you know, they're shorthanded, so we'll probably see you in 30 to 60 or 90 days. Okay. If you're at the jail and you're wearing a mask, that mask needs to be worn appropriately. So pull it up over your nose. To all the attorneys, if you have a plea bargain agreement, no matter how small that agreement is, you need to put it in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson. She's the court coordinator. She's listed as Ferguson coordinator. Do not email her, text her, chat her, call her, asking for a continuance. I'm the only person who can give you that. To all the inmates, you're not done with the hearing with this day until I let you know that you are excused. So do not go to a breakout room with your attorney and excuse yourself. To all the defendants and those who are accused, your attorney's name will be called. Your name will not be called. If you do not hear your attorney's name, please do not raise your hand asking me, I didn't hear my attorney's name. It's because your attorney is probably Zooming in another courtroom or has to be in person. So everyone put some patience in your pocket. Your attorney will be here as soon as they're available. I'm going to open breakout rooms. When I do, it will ask everyone to go to a breakout room. Do not, I repeat, do not go to a breakout room unless I call you by name and assign you to a breakout room. This is the order in which attorneys will appear: Kelly McGinnis, Ron Ross, Robert Brauback, Joanne Eckel, Edward Garza, E.R. Baez, and I always mess you up. I'm sorry, Mr. Barreto. Ignacio Barretta, Mike Chumley, Ted Wood, and Catherine Valenzuela. To all attorneys, it will be very helpful to the court is if you will add to your name the name of your client and whether or not it's criminal trial division or family violence. If you're unable to do that, I will do that myself. All right, so everyone, when you're sent to a breakout room, to all the defense attorneys, the prosecutors have the ability to move throughout the breakout rooms. Think of those breakout rooms as a doctor's office. When you go there and they call you to the back, you're not seeing the doctor right away. They're just checking your weight and your blood pressure. It's Tuesday. Don't turn it into a Monday. Put patience in your pocket, everyone. To the defendants who are those accused who are at your home, there is no cooking, no changing of diapers, no cleaning house is allowed. If you're at your work, you need to tell your employer you need to take a break. All right, Kelly McGinnis.
Hi, Judge. I just need to confer with David Martin. He was the one I talked to last time. I think we have.
Well, I need to say, I have to learn how to say David Martin is no longer with us and make it sound.
Oh, no.
Yes, he is alive, but he is no longer in this court. He is
That's right.
37 trying a case right now, my understanding.
Oh, who took his place?
There are Caitlin
Okay,
Woods and Michelle Hayden. So
hopefully he left some notes.
3.
Can you put me in number 13, Judge? I need the luck. I'm just kidding.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to send you, just for that, I'll send you to number 13.
Okay, thank you.
So someone will meet you there. 13 is requested. And anyone who wants to request Lucky Breakout Room number 13, you can. All right, Ron Ross.
Yeah, Jonathan Ochoa, family violence. I talked to Joe Ray Garcia last time. I need to talk to him again.
Okay. I'll send you to breakout room number 3. Robert Brauback.
Donovan Castro, Judge, criminal trial. I'm conferring with Morris Hunter.
Morris Hunter's here.
I'll send you to number 4.
Hey, Judge.
You're welcome. Joanne Eckel.
Good morning, Judge. I have Jose Garces and it's CTD.
I will send you to breakout room number 5. Ed Garza.
Good morning, Judge. I have Beth Martinez, and I believe it's CTD, although it's an aggravated assault, but I don't believe it's family violence. So,
all right, let me see.
And then there was 3 drug charges. I don't know if they've been reinstated. They've been rejected at one time.
All right, I'll send you to a breakout room. I'll send you to number 6.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
And Judge, I send you a chat.
All right, just give me a moment. All right, I'm going to send you to number 6.
Okay, Judge.
All right, E.R. Baez.
Morning, Your Honor. I have Connie Ramirez and it's family violence.
I'll send you to number 7. Thank you so much for changing your name.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ignacio, thank you for changing your name. I'll send you to number 8.
Before I go, Your Honor, I don't know whether my client even showed up today. I was not able to get a hold of him.
All right, we will see.
Would it be okay if I report back to, I guess I'm holding on civil presiding.
Well, would you like to talk to a prosecutor before you leave so that can already be done?
That would be fine, except that this is a case where I know I can't settle it. In fact, At one point, I was told that he had hired somebody else. I'm appointed, but
All right, well, we'll see if he's hired someone else. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1 with Miss Ferguson, and she'll let you know if he's hired someone.
thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Ted Wood.
Good morning, Judge.
Yes.
Matthew Stribling,
All right, is that criminal trial division or family violence?
family violence, Judge. And I appreciate you helping me with the name change. I'm
Yeah.
sophisticated, but I'm just not that sophisticated, Judge.
All right, I'll send you to number 8.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Catherine Valenzuela. Yes, you
Your Honor,
changed your
I'm
name.
here.
I'll send you to number 9.
Well, Your Honor, but Mr. Almendares is not present. I cannot find him right now.
All
I
right,
don't
well,
know.
it's just see where we are. Talk to the state. We'll see if he pops in.
Looks like his
Okay.
name might be wrong.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Marcus?
There was someone in custody raising his hand. I think that may be him.
All right, your client is in custody. See, he's right here. Just 1 second, everyone. Victor Enriquez, your attorney is in jury trial, so he will not be here. Can you unmute yourself, please? All right, so Mr. Enriquez, what we're going to do is we're going to reset you. We're going to reset you for October 27th. If your attorney is finished with jury trial before then, we'll bring you back before then, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, just wait right there. Don't leave because the deputies don't like you moving around. We'll have the court coordinator call the jail and let them know that you're done, okay?
Okay, is there any way possible, ma'am, that maybe we'll get a court date a little sooner? Yeah, I'm trying to get out there for my kids, you know what I mean?
No, I understand what you're saying, but you're represented by counsel. What I can tell you again is if your attorney completes jury trial sooner than October 27th, we'll call you sooner than October 27th, okay?
All right, thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome. Just remain and we'll get back to you, okay?
Thank you.
Ms. Ferguson, could you send Mr. Victor Enriquez back? And if his attorney is out of jury trial sooner than October 27th, could you remember to place him back on the docket? All right, so we'll make sure that happens, Mr. Enriquez. Norma, he's 14H.
If you want, Judge, I can place him on the docket for next week. And if
All right,
he's not done, I can reset him for the following week, for the week after.
Let's do that. What date do you want to put in for next week?
I can put him for Wednesday or Thursday, Judge.
All right, we're going to put you down for Wednesday, Mr. Enriquez.
Wonderful, thank you very much for that.
You're welcome. So we'll see you on the 20th. All right, have a great rest of your day, Mr. Enriquez.
You as well, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, Kelly McGinnis, thank you for raising your hand.
Sure. I don't want people to steal my breakout room, Judge, but my case is going to be dismissed. So
You what? I'm telling you, that's the breakout room, right?
I know it is, but don't tell anyone else that.
All right, as soon as I receive the dismissal, we'll take care of that.
Okay, may I be excused or in my client, or do you want him to wait?
Oh, no, you can be excused. Just check to make sure that the state has filed the dismissal.
Okay, I will. Thank you, Judge. Orlando,
Thank
you
you. Welcome. And everyone, just give me a moment, please.
Just sent that out, Judge, that dismissal.
All right, thank you. All right, is there anyone else back from the breakout rooms? Okay, let me see what we have here. We have ER Baez in in room number 7, waiting for family violence. Ted Wood is in number 8, waiting for family violence on Stribling. And Catherine Valenzuela is in number 9, waiting for CTD.
Judge, can I see you in the breakout room?
Yes. Breakout room number 1. All right, Dwight Chumley.
Yes, ma'am. We're working on plea paperwork. I have got to answer real quick on a election for punishment in the 226.
Okay, is your client on bond or in custody?
He's on bond and he is online right here. Isaiah's iPhone.
All right, can you make sure that Miss Ferguson has your client's email address?
Yeah, I chatted that over to him this morning.
All right, thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, Almendaris, where are you?
I'm here, Judge.
All right, so you're a different Almendaris. She was looking for Almendaris.
It was a common misspelling. I wasn't sure if that was me.
Okay, no problem.
Am I actually supposed to be here? I was here on an error yesterday as well.
No, you're supposed to be here. You were not here on an error. So that's why I always tell people, don't leave unless I excuse you.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry about that.
All right.
They switched me to another court yesterday, but yes, ma'am. Gotcha.
Okay. So Rebecca, there's an issue with Mr. Almendaris.
Yes, ma'am. From probation's understanding is he is being supervised in Guadalupe County, and at his MTR, he was ordered felony drug court. So they will not accept him if he's going to be reporting in the Guadalupe County.
All right, Mr. Almendaris, are you going to be living in Guadalupe County?
Yes, ma'am, I am. But if I need to switch back probation, I can.
Well, I mean, I don't want you, I want you to be successful on probation. So, I mean, you would have to be living in Bexar County to take advantage of felony drug court. So I don't want you here if you don't have a place to live. If you already have a place to live in Guadalupe County, then it would probably be best that you're in Guadalupe County.
Okay.
So for me to ask that you go to felony drug court, that means that there is a drug issue. So what I can do, Rebecca, you said that we haven't had a report back whether they have a felony drug court in Guadalupe County?
I have not received word.
Let me see what handy Google tells me. I see they have a Veterans Treatment Court. You would think that they would probably have a drug court if they have a Veterans Treatment Court, right?
You would assume.
Oh, okay. I see. Well, I see one, a drug court for county court at law. Ah, they do have an adult drug court because I see where they have adult drug court dockets.
Okay.
Now, mind you, this is just me on the Google site. Yes, they do have adult drug court. So we'll do the transfer to Guadalupe County. And felony drug court. In Guadalupe County. And then we'll do intensive outpatient treatment. And UA hotline until accepted. And Guadalupe County Felony Drug Court. Is that Mr. Armendariz? I hope that helps you.
Yes, ma'am, it does. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
All right, you're welcome. Don't be tempted to use, okay?
I won't, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Rebecca, do you need to see Mr. Armendariz in a breakout room?
Yes, ma'am, so we can amend his conditions.
All right, Mr. Armendariz, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1.
Thanks again, Judge. Have a blessed day.
All right, thank you. You have a blessed day too. Ray Adams.
Yes, Your Honor. I need.
Who do you have?
I've got Mario Escalante, and I probably need to talk to his probation officer.
All right. Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
It is a drug case.
Okay. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 10. A prosecutor will meet you there. Probation is in another breakout room. As soon as they finish, I'll let them know that you're waiting there as well.
Okay. Thanks, Judge.
You're welcome. All right. Anyone else back from breakout rooms? All right. Catherine Valenzuela. Your client is actually not here. That was Armendariz, and you're here for Armendariz.
Yes. I've conferred. I need to announce in 2 other courts, but I can try and get him on call and see. I tried
give everyone till 10:30.
So I will pop back in at 10:30.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Ted Wood. You're on mute. I'm going to brush up on my lip reading.
I conferred with him on that, Judge. I think he wants to approach.
Yes.
And Caitlin and I have conferred. She's very gracious. She's going to remain silent and request GPS. Well, I'll wait till I get in front of you. I don't want to take any more of your time. We're ready.
Okay. Where is Mr. Stribling?
He's at the hotel, Judge.
Why is he at the hotel when the state's offer is a Kappa 7 silent and they're remaining silent?
Judge, I asked for him to be released last week pending PSI. The court instructed me to file a motion, so I filed a motion. That's why we're here today.
But I mean, where is he?
He's at the jail.
He's in breakout room 8. I'm trying to move him.
No, you can't move him. Yes, there he is. Okay. Yeah, you were saying he's at the hotel, so I thought you meant a hotel. I didn't know you meant the jail.
The Bear County Hotel, Judge.
Okay. Next time you need to say he's at the Bear County Hotel.
Very well.
Okay. All right. All right, everyone, just one moment. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 2273, State of Texas versus Matthew Thomas Stribling. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Caitlin Wilkes for the state.
For the defense?
Ted Wood representing Mr. Stribling.
And are you Mr. Matthew Stribling?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Stribling, do you have any objections with us proceeding by video?
No, ma'am.
The court will note for the record that the defendant entered his plea by video on October 5th to count 3. And the indictment, count 1 and 2 were waived. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 7 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. The state will remain silent. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, and there's to be no contact with Amanda Sepulveda. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
No, Your Honor, we have not seen the PSI.
All right, then just give me a moment. Okay, well, you all will receive a copy of the PSI report, and then we will proceed on Mr. Stribling's matter.
Judge, Mr. Stribling says that nobody's come to talk to him at the jail.
Okay, then. Are we proceeding with sentencing, or is there a request for a PSI?
No, Judge, there's a request for a PSI. I was just trying to get him released so he could get back to work prior to sentencing. And the court instructed me to file a motion for release pending sentencing.
Okay, let me find the motion because I don't have the motion. All right, so then we're here on your motion for
Yes,
release prior to sentencing.
Yes, Judge.
All right, state, have you received defense's motion to release prior to sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Are you ready to proceed, state?
Yes, Judge.
All right, Mr. Wood, it's your motion. You may begin.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, I'd like to call Mr. Stribling for some testimony, if I could, please.
All right, Mr. Stribling, if you could raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, if you could lower your hand, state your name for the record, please, and spell your name, your last name, please.
My name is Matthew Thomas Stribling. S is in Sam, T is in Tom, R is in Robert, I is in Indigo, B is in Boy, L is in Lima, I is in Indigo, N is in Nancy, G is in Golf.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Stribling, you understand that this is not your sentencing, that this is just an opportunity for you to get out and get back to work, right?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. Now, if the judge does permit you, does allow release before sentencing, are you committed to staying away completely from the complaining witness?
Completely away from the complaining witness on any stipulations that may be, as if I followed community supervision already. I wouldn't be getting high. I wouldn't be doing anything I wasn't supposed to be doing.
Are you committed to staying away from her family?
Yes, sir, I am.
Are you committed to reporting as soon as humanly possible to be fitted with the GPS if the judge orders it?
Yes, sir, I will.
And are you committed to following any sort of restrictions that the GPS officer imposes on your movements?
Yes, sir, I will.
Are you committed to staying in Bexar County?
Yes, sir, I will.
Are you committed to reporting or contacting the pretrial officer anytime your schedule requires something out of the ordinary?
I'll do my best to not have anything conflicted, but yes, I will let them know ahead of time that if there's anything coming up.
That's the magic part. You're going to call ahead of time, right?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Stribling, are you committed to staying drug-free?
Yes, sir.
Do you acknowledge that alcohol is a drug?
Yes, sir, I will.
And do you commit to not taking any drugs at all unless they're prescribed by a doctor?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand that release at this stage of the proceedings is a privilege?
Yes, sir, I do understand it is.
Very well. Very well. Thank you, sir. No more questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
State.
I had a couple questions for Mr. Stribling.
Yes.
What is it that you do for a living?
I work at a delivery company for Costco.
And do they know about your current, I guess, status in the jail?
Yes.
And do you have the job lined up when you get out?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. And does that require you to go into person's homes or just drive a truck?
It's going into person's homes, but I would wear pants to where it would cover the monitor. And if that was a conflicting issue, then I would work in the warehouse.
And is the warehouse the same pay and same as the delivery?
Yes, ma'am.
Alrighty. No further questions, Judge.
All right, defense, any redirect?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, any other witnesses, defense?
No, Judge.
Any witnesses state?
No, Judge.
All right, the court will hear argument. Defense, it's your motion.
Judge, Mr. Stribling has been incarcerated since July, I believe, 25th or 26th. He acknowledges that it was his behavior, specifically not reporting for the GPS, that landed him in jail. He's been, I think that spending a little bit of time at the Bexar County Jail has given him a new vision for what he's willing to do to comport with this court's wishes. We're just asking, Judge, that he be released pending sentencing, that he be allowed to get back to work. He's got significant arrearages on child support issues, and he was working really, really hard to get those issues, to get that child support caught up. He wants to have relationship with his children. He wants to be free, and he wants to prove to the court that he can rebuild his life drug-free. A lot of this behavior, Judge, that you're going to look at in the PSI when you look at it is, I think, due to his meth use and possible failure to take his prescribed medications. I've noticed a big change in Mr. Stribling since he's been incarcerated, not been able to use drugs. He's been involved in taking his medically prescribed medications, and he's he seems to have a different attitude towards life since he's been basically forced to take his medications, but I think now he's in a position where he actually wants to take his medications and remain drug-free.
All right, State.
Judge, we are silent on his application for community supervision. Therefore, we are silent on this motion. If the court does grant this motion, we would ask the court to please do GPS monitoring, absolutely no contact with the complainant in this case, no drug or alcohol, and I would say weekly check-ins with
Why is the
pre-trial.
state silent on this motion where he's asking to be placed on bond, which has nothing to do with his sentencing because we're not talking about sentencing? I'm rereading the report. He was previously charged in the report, which the state waived, which was the arson case, for allegedly pouring gasoline over the complainant. And now he's asking to be let out prior to sentencing. I don't understand why the state has no position on this.
Your Honor, we're
And then to have
We
no
just-
position, but say, but oh, by the way, give him GPS.
but that's what we conferred with the defense and I guess let them know. And I mean, that was just how we had conferred on the matter because, you know, we didn't believe that it would be appropriate for us to say, don't let him out, but we are silent to the sentencing.
No, the bond issue is completely separate from sentencing. Do y'all want to go back to the room and confer?
Judge, his bond issue is paid up on the attempted arson. Those bond issues are paid up. The VPO has been dismissed as part of the
No,
plea agreement.
I understand that, but what I don't understand is why the state doesn't have a position on him being released from jail pending sentencing. The state is solid on sentencing, which I understand, but this whole matter of a bond issue is completely separate. I'm trying to understand why the state is solid, but the state is, by the way, give him GPS.
Judge, I'm to be honest with you, Judge, I know that the court is always interested in protecting the community. And we are willing to go the extra mile to get Mr. Stribling out so that he can get busy rebuilding his life. If the court wishes to waive the GPS, we will not argue against that. Again, I'm just interested, and Mr. Stribling is interested and appreciates your desire to protect the community.
All right, so here's the court's next question. If he is released on bond and given GPS, does the complainant even know that he will be released on bond and given GPS? Has anyone spoken to the complainant?
Complainant wants the defendant to get probation. So she is likely in agreement with this.
Well,
release.
let's talk to the complainant. Let's bring the complainant in for this hearing. And then who knows, maybe we can have the hearing on sentencing as well.
Okay, I'll get on that. Thank you, Judge.
All right, so Mr. Wood, if you'll give us a moment, we're going to see if we can get the complainant in.
Very well, Judge. Thank you.
Sure, no problem.
Judge, this is Robert Mauer. I'm in court. I have a very brief PSI on an Andre Hernandez. He's just due to be sentenced. He's in the hallway. We're ready to go.
Okay.
Can I bring him in, Judge?
Just one moment. Let me see what the agreement is. Yes, you can bring him in. Is there a prosecutor available for sentencing on Mr. Hernandez? It's for time.
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you.
He's coming in right now, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Judge, I'll need to have a room with my client when you get a chance.
All right, Mr. Ochoa.
Yes.
If you go to breakout room number 3, please, and Mr. Ross, if you could go back to 3.
Yes, ma'am.
You're welcome. All right, court is calling 2020 CR 12245, State of Texas versus Andre Hernandez. Can I have the parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Robert Maurer, Your Honor.
And are you Andre Hernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. The court will note for the record that the defendant and defense counsel are in the courtroom. Any objections from the state to us proceeding by video?
None.
Defense, any objections to us proceeding by video?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Hernandez, do you have any objection to this hearing taking place by video?
No, ma'am.
All right, you entered a plea on August 3rd. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court found you guilty. Sentencing was then set for September 1st, but then it was reset for September 20th. Then it was reset for September 29th. Then it was reset for today. Are both parties ready to proceed with sentencing, state?
Yes, Judge.
Defense?
Defense is ready.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client, defense?
Judge, I just had asked the court to follow the agreement.
All right, then the court will sentence you to 3 years prison. Give you credit for any time served. This is run concurrent with County Court Cause number 632834. Take in consideration 2020 CR 12244 and 2020 CR 10238. Mr. Hernandez, I appreciate you showing up, even though you had your surgery. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing from either side?
No, Judge.
Not from defense, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, I gave you actually something better than you bargained for. I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And also, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you. Joanne Eckel.
Judge, I just need to confer a little more with Marcus. I think he was just finished the sentence.
All right, I'm going to place you in breakout room number 2, and Marcus will meet you there. Edward Garza.
Judge, we found out this case is a family violence case, and I need a breakout room with someone from family violence instead of CTD.
Okay.
Whenever it becomes available.
All right, if you'll go back, let me see what breakout room.
I was in 6, if you want me to go back again.
Yes, if you'll go back to breakout room number 6, prosecutor will meet you there.
Thank you.
Robert Brauback.
Judge, I conferred with Morris Hunter, and I'd like to request a mental health evaluation or file a motion for competency, whichever would be more expedient.
All right, and is your client Donovan Castro?
Yes, ma'am.
And is he in custody?
He's in custody.
All right, Mr. Castro, we're going to reset. Could you unmute yourself for me, please? Oh, Mr. Castro, just hold the space bar down. It's the longest key on the keyboard.
There you go. Okay.
All right. Mr. Castro, we're going to reset your case for 30 days and have you evaluated, okay?
Okay. Am I going to get evaluated within 30 days?
We'll do our best. There is a backlog because there's not enough funding for enough evaluators, but we'll try to get you seen as quickly as possible.
What about probation?
All right, Mr. Brauback, it sounds like your client may be competent. He's asking about probation and all sorts of other things.
When I visited him, I had reservations regarding his competency after talking to him.
All right, would you like to speak to him again or no?
Oh, I wouldn't.
All right, your attorney is requesting an evaluation. Ms. Ferguson?
Put it in the chat, Judge.
Thank you. We'll be back on November 16th.
November 16th. Thank you,
Yes.
Judge. May I be excused?
Yes. Mr. Castro, we'll see you back on November 16th. Norma, can you let them know 14L can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. DeWiggins.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, who do you have?
James Jewell. It's an MTR, but I don't have the court summary. So if Ms. Reyes could send that to me beforehand and I could speak to Mr. Jewell, I'd appreciate it.
Oh, of course. And I'll send you to breakout room number 11.
Okay, Ms. Reyes, do you have my email?
No, I'll see you in the breakout room.
Okay.
Ms. Ferguson, can I see you in breakout room number 1, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Baez.
Can you hear me, Judge?
Yes, I can.
All right, so Joe Ray and the other prosecutor, they're gonna dismiss my case, Judge, so I'm just asking, I guess, Do I wait for the order or can I get this BSQ?
All right, what is your client's name?
Connie Ramirez.
All right, let me just find the page on the docket. Norma, which page is Connie Ramirez on? I don't see it.
On
Page 8.
page 8.
All right, thank you. All right, as soon as the court receives the dismissal, I'll sign it. You and your client are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. Y'all have a good day.
All right, thank you. You too.
Excuse me, Judge, can you send Mr. Jewell in with Mr. DeWiggins?
Yes. Mr. DeWiggins, he's in breakout room number 11, and you want Mr. Jewell there?
Yes.
Mr. Jewell, if you go to breakout room number 11, please. And it does that thing again right now. Okay, it's taken a while. And Mr. Wood, Ms. Sepulveda is here, so we're going to take that matter up.
Very well, Judge.
Brenda, sometimes it just does that. Ooh, there we go. Yay. All right, Ms. Wilkes, Ms. Sepulveda is here.
Judge, she put something in the chat about getting a grand jury witness or something like that. I don't know if she's back or not.
Ah. All right, so I didn't see that chat. Let's see if she's
I'm
back.
here, Judge. Sorry, I wanted to make sure that Amanda was on the Zoom, and I see that she's here now.
Okay. All right, so we're back on the record in 2021 CR 2273, State of Texas versus Matthew Stribling. Defense is requesting that Mr. Stribling be released on bond prior to sentencing. The court wanted to make sure that the complainant is aware of the motion, and my understanding is the complainant is here. Would anyone like to call the complainant as a witness?
Yes, Judge. The state would call Amanda Sepulveda, please.
All right, Ms. Sepulveda, if you can unmute yourself, please. Could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I am.
All right, if you can lower your hand, please. If you could state your name for the record, and I'm going to need you to speak up so that the court reporter can hear. All right, Ms. Sepulveda, it sounds like your Wi-Fi where you are may be a little bit unstable.
Let's see.
All right, that's better. All right, State.
Yes, Amanda, I'm Caitlin. I'm the prosecutor on this case. This case is the one in which you are listed as a complainant against the Matthew Stribling. Is that you, the complainant on that case?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you aware that the state has offered a plea bargain that the defendant has taken and he is currently awaiting sentencing on this case?
What was the plea bargain?
It was 7 silent. So do you recall speaking to Marina, our advocate?
Yes, ma'am.
About that? Okay. And then do you recall speaking to Marina, the advocate, about when the probation called you for the PSI, which is the pre-sentencing report? Do you remember talking to her about that?
I remember talking to her about that, but I haven't gotten a call from any probation or anything like that.
Okay. When it comes to the sentencing of this defendant, what are your thoughts on what you believe is appropriate for punishment?
I mean, Matt's a good guy. I know we just yeah, I mean, our emotions and stuff got, the best of us. And I mean, I don't believe he deserves anything like, I don't believe he deserves jail time or anything like that. Like, I don't think I mean, I'm fine with him coming out or, yeah, I'm not scared of him or anything like that. He's a good guy.
So you're wanting him to get treatment and help in this case for his drugs?
For sure.
And
I know
anger
he already
management?
started to, yeah, anger management for sure. I mean, I know he started to, and I mean, I think, I don't know, I think his medicine got the best of him too. Like, I think it was just kind of counteracting or something, but I think he's a good guy. And if he got help, I'm okay with that. Like 100%.
And you're aware that the defense has filed a motion for him to be released on bond pending that sentencing, correct?
I'm okay with that.
Okay, we'll pass the witness.
Defense.
Good morning, ma'am. Fair to say you think it's best for you and Matthew to have absolutely no contact, correct?
For a little bit, yeah.
Would you be more comfortable with the judge issuing a no contact order towards you? And if the court chooses to revisit that later on, then the court can revisit that later on?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. No more questions, Judge.
All right, any follow-up questions or redirect from the state? Mr. Stribling, stop with the praying hands. And stop with the praying hands towards the witness. Do you understand?
I apologize, this anxiety.
No, don't blame it on that. You know what you're doing is improper. How old are you?
32.
Yes, quit acting as though you don't know what you're doing is improper. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
That's telling me that if I were to place you on probation, you can't follow the rules because you're having a hard time following them now. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. No, completely understand.
All right, any other questions of the witness state?
Yes, Your Honor, just a couple questions. So, Ms. Sepulveda, you're aware that if he is placed on probation, that it's likely the court will order a no contact as the state is asking for no contact.
Yeah.
And you know that if you reach out to him, that would be setting him up for failure once he's released. If he is released.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. No further questions.
All right, any recross, Mr. Wood?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Sepulveda, I have a few questions for you. What drugs was Mr. Stribling using?
What drugs was he using?
Yes.
I have no idea.
I mean, when you were living with Mr. Stribling, what drugs was he using?
I wasn't, when was
And
I
here's the
living
thing,
with him?
Ms. Sepulveda, I'm asking these questions because if I place him on probation, I need to make sure I give him conditions to help him. So it's very important that everyone is honest with me.
Okay,
So-
but I wasn't living with him. I might have been there on and off.
All right, when
but,
you were on and off with him living, what drugs was he using?
I guess, the ice.
And how often was he using ice?
Not very often.
All right, do you all have children together?
No.
All right, any other questions for this witness, state or defense?
No, Your Honor.
No, Judge.
All right, Ms. Sepulveda, thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Wood, any questions, any more questions of your client?
No, Judge.
State, any follow-up questions for Mr. Stribling?
No, Your Honor.
All right, are we just proceeding with the bond or you want to proceed with sentencing as well, Mr. Wood?
Judge, if I think that it is productive and fruitful for the court to have the opportunity to look at the PSI, because the PSI is not done yet. I'm very hesitant that the court should proceed. However, if the court in its wisdom chooses to proceed, then we're okay with going forward.
All right, Mr. Stribling, I have a few questions for you. And you need to be completely honest with me. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, 100%.
Right here is your right to appeal.
What drugs were you using?
Ice and marijuana
How often were you using ice and marijuana?
on a regular basis,
All right, and how often was Ms. Sepulveda using ice?
equally.
Is there anything else you need to sign?
All right, excuse me.
Do I have to sign anything else?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's from your end, Mr. Stribling.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, no problem. That's fine. So would you and Ms. Sepulveda use ice together?
Yes, ma'am, we would.
Does she have any children?
No, ma'am, she does not, unless you count 6 cats.
So you all had 6 cats and were using ice?
Yeah, it was a very hectic household.
Well, they say cats can take care of themselves. At least that's what I hear.
Yes, ma'am.
So do you have any children?
I guess I
I have 6 children.
What are their ages?
They range from 13 to 7.
So you're saying 13 to 7. Do you not know your children's individual ages?
13.
He did it again by itself.
Bubba will be 12 and October 26th. Benji will be 10. Surfa will be 10 because they're 6 months apart. And Zaylee Brooke is 8, gonna be 9, and Xander is 7, gonna be 8.
I'm not looking right now. I'm looking at something that says.
So do all these children have the same mother?
No, ma'am.
And
Has Child Protective Services been involved in your life?
Something crazy.
Not in my life, but in my ex's.
Now,
Well, I mean, then that means they're in your life as well.
Okay, well, then, yes, ma'am.
Do you
Not-
still have legal rights to any of these children, or have your rights been terminated?
No, I still have all my rights.
So where are these children?
They're with their moms.
Now it's clear.
And where are their moms? Are they all in
You're in
Bear
the
County?
Yes, ma'am. Well, the first one I haven't seen those kids. I haven't seen my older 3 kids in a year and a half. And
So that's the 13-year-old, the 12-year-old, and 2
and the other-
10-year-olds.
No, I have 3 and 3. So I have a girl and 2 boys from the first, and then 2 girls and a boy from the second.
Okay.
It's not working.
So how far did you go in school?
I graduated high school.
And where have you been working?
I work at it's called Madera Transport, and we subcontract for Costco.
All right, any more questions from the state or the defense?
No, Your Honor.
No, Judge.
All right, The state is silent on your application for deferred adjudication. The complainant has testified that she does not want you to go to jail or to prison. She doesn't believe that you should be in jail. But it's the court's belief, Mr. Stribling, that you should no longer have contact with Ms. Sepulveda. You all
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
have any children together. I don't know who owns the cats or where are the cats? Did you own any of the cats?
Those are hers, and I'll be more than glad to let her have them.
All right, so there's no reason for you to have contact with her whatsoever. Do you understand?
I'm perfectly fine with that.
All right, this is what the court will do. The court will sentence you to 7 years deferred adjudication. There's a $1,500 fine that will be probated. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact whatsoever with Amanda Sepulveda. Mr. Wood, how long has your client been in custody at the Bexar County Jail?
Judge, I believe July 25th or 26th is my best memory.
Mr. Stribling, how long have you been at the Bexar County Jail?
August 12th.
Okay.
That may have been when the warrant issued, Judge.
Yeah,
Right.
August 12th was the date I was arrested. The 25th or 27th that he's referring to, that's when the warrant was issued.
All right, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to do 7 years deferred adjudication, $1,500 fine probated, affirmative finding of family violence, absolutely no contact with Amanda Sepulveda. You shouldn't be having any contact with her. You all don't have any animals together. You don't have any children together.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to do a felony drug court referral while in custody. Mr. Wood, you are a member of felony drug court, so you know how quickly that can be done. So I'm going to ask Mr. Wood if you will make sure to confer with felony drug court to see if Mr. Stribling can be on the list. If they put him on the waiting list, then probation, I'm going to ask for intensive outpatient treatment. So felony drug court referral while in custody. And Mr. Stribling, if they can't get to you this week, then they'll probably get to you at the beginning of the week. If not accepted, then it will be intensive outpatient treatment with probation, the UA hotline, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors, partial GPS, the defendant will be allowed to work. Waive GPS fees or place on deferred status. 200 hours of community service restitution. The court will waive 40 of those hours if you provide proof that you've obtained the COVID vaccine. Court is not requiring you to get the COVID vaccine, but if you do and you turn that in, 40 hours will be deducted. Going to do the BIPP course. There's to be weekly Zoom reporting. If you can't Zoom, then it'll be in person until further notice.
Is that with you, Judge?
No, that weekly reporting will be with probation.
Very well.
And there is to be field visits 3 times per month, random.
And Judge, if he's accepted, I'm going to give Deanna a call in just a minute. If he's accepted, will the drug court conditions supersede what the court is imposing now?
Yes, if he's accepted into a drug court and actually starts, then I allow drug court to make decisions on what conditions should be.
Very well, Judge.
All right, Rebecca, is there anything else Mr. Stribling needs?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Stribling, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful on this deferred adjudication?
No, I'm glad that you recommended the outpatient because I do need help with anger management and things like that nature. So I do believe that'll be very beneficial to my completing this.
Oh, you also need help with your drug issues.
Yes, ma'am, that as well. But I felt like Mr. Wood had said, being on my medication and being in here, it shows one what it feels like to actually be clean and be on my meds and how I feel mentally and emotionally and everything. And that was a lot of what fueled a lot of my problems previous. So I do appreciate the time that you've given me in here because it's definitely helped me see a lot clearer to what I need to do. And it's not something that I just found in jail. It's something that I'm going to continue to practice when I get out of jail.
All right. And Ms. Reyes, can you add MIC evaluation for him? But the MIC evaluation can be done out of custody. Mr. Stribling, if you're not accepted to felony drug court and you're released and you missed any of these appointments, what's going to end up happening is I'm going to get a report that you've missed your appointments, and more likely than not, you may end up in jail. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do. And no, I will not miss any appointments. I will make sure to abide by the court's rules and do what I need to.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Wood, on your motion to request release prior to sentencing, we've already had sentencing, so it's a moot point.
Very well, Judge.
And state, Mr. Stribling, I have a cause number 2021 CR 6625. I don't know if that has been taken care of.
Judge, there are two cases. There's also, I think, a 2019 drug case. I want to say 2019, 2404 or 29 or 2405.
All right, well, Mr. Wood, if you'll get with the state and see how those issues will be resolved.
Very well, Judge.
All right, Mr. Stribling,
Yes, ma'am.
we can go off the record, Brenda. You probably shouldn't be in a relationship until you take care of your issues. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that's my attorney recommended as well.
All right, so this is what I always tell everyone. Get an orchid. The orchids are beautiful at the grocery stores and at different facilities. They're in bloom. The flowers are great. You get an orchid. And if you can keep that orchid for a year and it blooms, you just may be ready for a relationship, because orchids are very finicky. You're supposed to keep them by the window, but then not direct sunlight. They don't take that much water, but you got to remember to water them. You can't move them around too much. So get an orchid, and if it blooms, let me know, because I have yet to have someone on this Zoom screen have an orchid, unless they're a master gardener, to have one actually bloom after the first bloom when you get it from the grocery store. So,
Yes,
Mr. Wood, help Mr. Stribling with any orchids.
Now it says lose share.
I'm going to send you,
yes, Your Honor.
Stribling, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Mr. Wood, I'm going to send you to 1 as well, so that probation can go over conditions with your client.
Very well. Judge, can you put me with Ms. Wilkes so we can talk about the dismissals first?
Yes, I'll send you to number 3, and Ms. Wilkes will meet you in number 3.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Ray Adams.
Several things, Judge. First of all, we're ready for a motion to revoke, but my guy probably needs to sign that little thing.
Yes.
So that can be sent to us for our signature. The second thing is, I think what you've just said, Judge, is it's easier to take care of an orchid than a girlfriend. Is that right?
No, that would be completely wrong and misses my point. We know women are great multitaskers.
With wives also?
We know. Okay, Ray, I'm going to let your wife know what you're saying. We all know that women are the great multitaskers of the world.
Yes, I agree.
All right. So, Mr. Adams, if you'll send that in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson, and she will get that paperwork to you and your client. Is your client on bond or in custody?
He's in custody.
Okay, so she'll send that to your client. If you'll go to breakout room number 10, your client should be receiving that paperwork.
Great. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Ignacio Barreto.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm reporting back. I don't know if my client ever reported in.
All right, and what is your client's name?
Oh, that would be Faustino Guerra.
All right, let me see if I received a chat that he's in the courtroom. He's not in the courtroom.
He's supposed to be on bond, Your Honor.
All right, is there Faustino Guerra on the screen? And I don't see him here. And he hasn't been here all day. So I give everyone till 10:30, it's 10:26. So if you want to try to call him, you can.
I will try again, Your Honor. I've been trying a couple of days now.
All right, thank you.
I will call back. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ron Ross on Mr. Ochoa.
Judge, we may have a plea. I need another document from the state. We're not real sure. So what I would suggest is we get a reset. If we do get the plea together, we'll contact the court and we'll move it up to do the plea.
All right, what paperwork are you waiting for from the state?
There's a bond. The allegation is violation of a bond condition. And we're trying to get the paperwork that shows that there was a condition of the bond back in 2019.
All right, state, are you able to have that? Would it help if you spoke with the clerks?
Yes, Judge, if they have it. It's not uploaded. I look for it. I just need that special conditions of bond.
All right, I'm going to send you both to breakout room number 4.
He's already been looking for it, and our deal was let me get it with me in a couple of days, and then we'll know.
No, I'm going to send you to number 4 with the clerks.
Okay.
And we'll see if it's in existence.
Sure.
All right, Mr. DeWiggins.
We're ready, Judge.
And has all the paperwork been done?
No, but they're recommending to continue him. So
he still needs paperwork because if he's going to enter a plea of truth, he'll still need paperwork.
Okay.
Proceed by video.
All right. So no, we don't have that.
Okay, that's okay. It's Tuesday. Mr. Jewell, I'm going to send you to number 7. We're going to get some paperwork for you to sign.
Right. Approach.
Just one moment. And Mr. Ross, I sent you to breakout room number 4.
I'm kind of stuck. It says click open link. If you don't see a dialogue launch meeting below, I don't know where to go from there. Launch meeting.
Let me move you again. Do you see where it pops up to you go to breakout room?
I've got room. I've got it now. I'm good.
All right, thank you. All right. Who was asking to Ignacio Barreto?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your hand is still raised.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. All right, Ed Garza.
Judge, if I could have a breakout room with Beth Martinez, my client, I need to convey an offer to her and discuss some things with her.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 8. Ms. Martinez, if you can go to breakout room number 8, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good morning, Judge Boyd. It's Kelly Green. Can
Yes.
I confer with the state, please, on Arturo Aguilar?
The criminal trial division or family violence? I think it's family violence.
Yeah.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 3.
The customer you are calling is not available. Please try again later.
All right, Ms. Green, you're in breakout room number 3. All right, to everyone who's waiting on your attorney, just be patient. They're probably in other hearings with other courts, but they'll be here. And those can go back. Okay, and let me just check my email. Ms. Ferguson,
Yes, ma'am.
can I have a date on Patricia Vieira's client, Nancy Hernandez Graham?
Do you want to bring her back next week?
Yes.
We can do it on a Wednesday, Judge. Oh, no. She said not Monday or Wednesday, right?
Yes.
We can do Tuesday the 19th.
All right.
Or I'm sorry, let's do the 21st, Judge, because when Tuesday's kind of packed.
Okay, we'll just put it on the 21st.
Yeah.
Mr. Watson? Your attorney has some medical issues, so we're going to have to appoint you new counsel. So Ms. Ferguson, can you let me know who's up next on the list, please?
Yes, ma'am. Give me just one
If you
second.
put it in the chat box.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, can you put Mr. Jewell in 7 with me, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Jewell, I need you to go to breakout room number 7. Do you know how to do that? Can you, Mr. Jewell, do you see at the bottom of your screen?
Breakout rooms?
Yes, go to breakout room number 7. And Mr. Watson, we're going to see if we can get you an attorney who can zoom in now.
Yeah, I have an update for the court on Arturo Aguilar.
Yes.
I've confirmed with the state. I was appointed a week ago. I believe I have most of the discovery, but the state needs to, they're working on an offer, and the reason being is because they need to know a little bit more about the underlying facts of the original charge. And so until she gets more information, she can't make an offer.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, has Mr. Arturo Aguilar been ordered from the jail?
I believe he's on board.
Yes.
No, he's in custody, according to the
Really?
docket.
All right.
All right, so just give us a moment. We're gonna,
Judge, he made bond, Judge.
ah,
That's what I thought.
all right, your client is not on the screen. Let me see if he's in the courtroom. And he's not in the courtroom. If you could try to get in touch with him, I'll consider resetting.
Okay. I can do that.
All right, so I'll recall it for 11:30.
Okay, let me try to get a hold of him.
All right, thank
Thanks.
you.
Norma? Hello?
Yes.
Ed Garza. Can I have a breakout room with Joe Ray again, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're in number 6, Mr. Garza.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Ross, any update on Mr. Ochoa?
There is, we found the paperwork. I now need to talk to Mr. Ochoa. Can I go into a breakout room with him?
Yes, let me find out where he is. Is he on bond or in custody?
He's on bond.
All right, Mr. Ochoa. I don't see him on the screen.
He was here earlier. We talked to him. Hopefully he didn't sign off thinking he was through for the day.
Is it Isaiah Ochoa?
Jonathan Ochoa.
Where's Jonathan Ochoa? And Isaiah, can you unmute yourself, please? Mr. Isaiah, what is your full name?
Yes. Isaiah Jurado, Jurado.
All right, what did I tell you about having the phone go black?
I
and not having the
was
video?
signing the plea deal. My my attorney sent me my email.
All right, don't have your screen go black again, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, my client said that he got knocked off. I'm not sure he had a phone call or something, but he's logging right back on right now.
All right, I'll send your client to breakout room number 3. And Mr. Ross, I'll send you to number 3.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, are the parties ready on Jewell Escalante? Mr. Adams, you left Mr. Escalante in breakout room number 9. I'll need him to come out of the breakout room.
Okay, you want me to jump back in there and get him in here?
Yes, please.
Okay, because I know he went to the bathroom, but I'm gonna go get him.
Well, let's wait till he's done with that before we bring him back on.
Okay, so you don't.
These are just my recommendations.
Okay. Judge, Mr. Escalante is back whenever you're ready.
All right.
And Judge, we still need our right of appeal. We got the consent by video, but we still need our right of appeal.
Okay, we will make sure you receive that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, who are the parties on Mario Escalante?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 1163, State of Texas versus Mario Escalante. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Ray Adams for the defense.
And are you Mr. Escalante?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
You're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Escalante, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Are you the same Mario Escalante who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 1163 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram, on April 27, 2021 for a period of 2 years?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
All right, state.
On or about the 25th day of August, 2021 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Mario Escalante, then and there failed to comply with the rules and regulations of felony drug court in violation of condition number 42.
How do you plead to that, true or not true? Mr. Escalante, how do you plead to that, true or not true?
True.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 42, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility, and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 42?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 42 true. Is there an agreement?
Your Honor, we have a partial agreement. We are asking this court to deny the motion and continue him on deferred adjudication. Where we don't have an agreement is the state probation are asking for ISP. And I will let defense speak to their position on this. I believe they want another shot at felony drug court.
Yes.
Your Honor, we're not opposed to ISP. He would like to be in felony drug court. What had happened was that he was still in jail and they did come to interview him, but for whatever reason, he wasn't accepted in it. He does want the court also to know that he considers this to have been a blessing to have been in jail, in the sense that it's helped him to get off of drugs, and he feels like that this is going to be a new chapter in his life, and he wants to do the right thing.
Well, I'd like to know why because it doesn't appear that he was not accepted in drug court. It appears that he was accepted and he wouldn't follow the rules of regulation. Mr. Escalante, you want to address that before I speak to probation?
Yes, ma'am. I went to.
All right, just 1 second. If you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, you can lower your hand. Just state your name for the record.
Mario Escalante.
All right, defense, do you have any questions for your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Now, you appeared in court back on August the 19th. Is that correct, on the violation of not reporting?
Yes, with Ms. Ferguson.
With that in mind.
And at that time, you were given drug court. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you stayed in jail the whole time, right?
Yes, sir.
And did they come to talk to you about drug court at the jail?
Yes, they interviewed me.
Okay. And do you want the court to grant you drug court?
Yes.
Would you be acceptable of ISP instead of drug court?
I'd rather drug court.
Okay. And do you want the court to release you today so that you can get into drug court and do what you need to do?
Yes, sir.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, State.
I just have one question, sir. Isn't it true that you were frustrated that it was taking too long and you refused to participate unless you were accepted by a certain date?
No, ma'am. I was in jail and I had, well, yes.
Okay, that's my only question, Judge.
All right. All right, is there anything else from either side?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Escalante.
Yes, ma'am.
Drug court has limited spaces available. And I'm sorry to say you've missed your chance. So the court will deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to include ISF. I'm trying to see if you were given any community service hours. If you were given community service hours as a condition of your probation, the court will allow 40 of those hours to be deducted if you provide proof that you've had the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring or demanding anyone to get the vaccination, but if you do, 40 hours will be deducted. After your release, there will be the UA hotline. And I want to ask for field visits 2 times per month, random. And you're going to obtain employment within 30 days of release. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Is there anything else from either side?
So Judge, he's going to be released today and he's going to have intensive supervision?
No, I'm sending him to ISL. I'm not giving him intensive supervision. Mr. Escalante, I had him sent to felony drug court because he has a drug problem. That's why I wouldn't have sent him otherwise. So, I mean, I don't think that issue has never been addressed.
How long will he be? And
Ms. Reyes, is ISF accepting defendants?
Local ISF is, let me check on the hold. The last I heard was about a 3-week wait.
All right, so you'll be, this is Mr. Mario Escalante. He pled true to violation of condition number 42. Going to alter and amend conditions to include local ISF. If he has community service hours, 40 of those will be deducted through to if he obtains the COVID vaccine. Upon release, he's to do the UA hotline, field visits 2 times per month, random, employment within 30 days of release, and no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And I don't know if before he had regular Zoom reporting, but upon release, he'll have regular Zoom reporting. Mr. Escalante, you've got to get a handle on your drug problems. If you do not, what's going to end up happening is you're going to keep picking up cases. And when you pick up cases, you're going to keep asking for sympathy and mercy. But I'm trying to help you to make sure that you are able to be clean and sober. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I really wish you would have waited for drug court because drug
I
court
was, I
would already
never,
have you by now.
I never turned it down, ma'am.
Okay. All right, but you told them, you made some demands of them, Mr. Escalante. That was your testimony. So this is where we are. We can go off the record, but I always tell people in life, there are consequences for choices we make. And once we start seeing that there are consequences for choices, then I think that everyone will start thinking before acting and speaking. All right, Mr. Escalante, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1, and probation will go over your new conditions with you.
Could
And
you
Mr.
put me in that breakout room also, Judge?
Yes, I was just going to say that, Mr. Adams. You're in one
Thank
as
you,
well.
Judge. Thank you, Judge. Bye.
You're welcome. And everyone, just give me a moment, please. All right. On Jewell, I'm just still waiting on the trial court certification. Mr. Wiggins, on Mr. Jewell?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So is there an agreement to continue, or is this a request for revocation?
No, they're agreeing to continue him.
Oh, well, we don't need the trial court certification. Who is the prosecutor on Mr. Jewell?
Actually, I only spoke to probation. I don't think I ever spoke to a prosecutor.
Okay. All right, Mr. DeWiggins, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 6. And for our prosecutor, Mr. DeWiggins is on a motion to revoke on James Jewell, and it's criminal trial division. Mr. Isaiah, you have your hand raised. Is there a reason for that?
Yes, ma'am. I'm trying to sign my plea deal, but you wanted me not to leave the camera.
All right, you can leave the camera to sign the plea paperwork, okay?
All right, appreciate it.
You're welcome. Ed Garza?
Judge, we have a plea agreement worked out, and I just sent a chat to Norma for her paperwork, and I believe Joe Ray is working on the paperwork on his side, on his end.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Norma, I just sent a chat to you. Catherine Valenzuela? Valenzuela.
Yes, Your Honor. I was just checking in to see if my client had shown up. I don't see him. And we've tried to contact him this morning and have been unable to. Almendares.
All right, is there a prosecutor available on Mr. Almendares?
I am, Judge.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 7965, State of Texas versus Jimmy Almendares. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Catherine Valenzuela for the defense.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 11:02 a.m. To the courtroom, has there been a Jimmy Almendaris in the courtroom at all this morning?
No, Your Honor, he is not.
And for the record, he has not been on the Zoom screen. Defense, have you had any contact with your client?
Not recently, Your Honor.
All right, state.
State would ask the court to forfeit the bond and issue a warrant.
That'll be granted. Your client will be remanded without bond. If you're able to get in touch with your client and he makes an appearance before the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you. All right, and Mr. Watson, we're working on getting an attorney for you. Just put some more patience in your pocket. Ignacio Gerardo, you're back?
Yes, I am, Your Honor. I have not been able to reach my client.
All right, is there a prosecutor available, please?
Your way, Judge.
All right, thank you. Oh, Meredith has just popped in, but I'll add you, Joe Ray. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 7558, State of Texas versus Faustino Guerrero. Can I have party announced for the record, please?
Joe Ray Garcia.
For the state?
Joe Ray Garcia.
For the defense?
Ignacio Barreto, Your Honor, with a caveat that I have been informed that I was fired and an attorney was retained, but I have not seen him make an appearance.
Oh, you're saying an attorney has been retained?
That's what I was told.
All right. Well,
but
let's
he's
just
never made an appearance.
Well, let's see if there's an attorney listed in the system.
There is not, Your Honor.
So
I
you're
checked
still the
earlier.
attorney.
Pardon?
I mean, you're still the attorney then.
Yes, I am, Your Honor, at this time.
Oh, okay. So I just want the record to be clear. You're the attorney of record, correct, Mr. Barreto?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 11:05 a.m. According to the history in the docketing sheet, this case was set for September 29th. The defense attorney conferred with the state. The defendant was not present. He had recently bonded out of jail, so the court recalled it for today. To the deputies in the courtroom, has there been a Faustino Guerrero in the courtroom?
No, Your Honor.
And he has not been on the Zoom screen. Defense, have you had any contact with your client?
No, Your Honor.
State?
State requests a bond forfeiture and a warrant be issued.
All right, that'll be granted and your client will be remanded without bond. If you're able to get in touch with your client and he makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, just for my own, would the court require me to e-file a motion to reinstate the bond or just set up a hearing?
You'll need to set up the hearing and file a motion.
And file a motion?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
May I excuse?
Yes.
Thank you.
Anyone ready?
Judge, I am
Yes.
after all, I'm gonna need a trial setting.
Okay. All right, Norma, on Mr. Jonathan Ochoa, can I have a 30-day reset? All right, we're going to come back on November 16th. On that date state, I'll need an acknowledgement of discovery. Mr. Ross, has a offer been tendered?
Yes, it has, Judge.
All right, then at the next setting, I'll give you your trial date.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if there's nothing else, you and your client are excused.
And if anything changes, I will let the court know.
All right, thank you. If you want to place it on the docket sooner because of changes in circumstances, just let the court know.
I will, Judge. Thank you.
You're welcome. Everyone, just give me a moment, please. All right, Mr. Gerardo, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2. The clerks will meet you in number 2 so that they can let you know if they have all the paperwork. And is your attorney Joy Chumley?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
All right, I want to send you to breakout room number 2 as well, and the clerks will let you know if they have all the paperwork.
Thank you.
And Ed Garza on Beth Martinez, you're waiting for paperwork?
Yes, Your Honor. I didn't unmute myself. There we
Oh,
go.
no problem. As soon as I have it, we will take that up.
Mighty fine. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And everyone, the court's going to take a 5-minute break. All right, Mr. Wiggins, did you have a chance to confer with the state on Mr. Jewell?
I did.
All right, so is there an agreement?
Yes, they're just going to withdraw and continue and amend.
Okay, so they're withdrawing the motion?
Yes. Right, Hunter?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Judge, I'm gonna put something in the chat.
Thank you. And Mr. Morris, part of the conditions I'm gonna want from Mr. Jewell, because I see that I'm not the person who placed him on probation, and the docketing sheet is blank. So I'm going, where is Rebecca?
She's in the room with Mr. Escalante last
All
session.
right. So on that one, I'm gonna give him the 40 hours deduction. Mr. Jewell, I'm not requiring anyone to take a COVID test. I'm sorry, COVID vaccine, but if you do and you complete it, 40 hours of your community service will be deducted. And Mr. DeWiggins, if you can write this down so you can let the CLO, Ms. Reyes, know what I'm adding. I'm gonna want random field visits.
He's homeless.
Well, where's he gonna be staying? Does anyone
Well,
have
he's going to SATF or safety. And so
okay.
he's hoping that while he's in the halfway house, he can arrange something with Salvation Army and get into their rehab program, and they'll have a place to stay and continue his treatment there.
All right. Then the state, what I'm gonna want with Mr. Jewell, since you all are withdrawing and alternate amending, let's try felony drug court first. If felony drug court doesn't accept him or doesn't have room for him, then we'll go to the next step, which will be SATF or safety. Mr. Jewell, the reason why I'm doing that, felony drug court, they'll help you with housing and other things of that nature, as well as any drug issues. So we're gonna try them first. They'll probably be interviewing you no later than next week. They may be able to fit you in this week, but we're getting a little bit late in the week for them to do that. So that's what we'll do.
That's wonderful, Judge. Thank you.
Judge, would it be easier if we just had this heard?
Probably so.
Okay.
All right, let's hear it.
James, it doesn't matter which allegation.
All right, and Robert Maurer, you are here?
Yes.
On Mr. Watson.
Kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
Never answer the phone. Is he? Can I just go meet him, Judge, and then Norma said send me the appointment order and
Yes. Mr. Watson, this is going to be your new attorney, Robert Maurer. I'm going to send you all in a breakout room so that he can get a chance to meet you, and you'll be able to get information from him as well. Mr. Maurer, Mr. Watson is charged with burglary of a habitation force. And I think you know the cause number 2021.
Oh, I don't have it. I'll take that. Okay.
CR 8488.
Okay.
And this is his first setting.
Okay. All right. That helps. All right. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Mr. Watson, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3. And Mr. Maurer, I will send you to number 3.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we are ready on Mr. DeWiggins' case. All right, the court is calling 2018 CR 1721, State of Texas versus James Donald Jewell. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Hunter Morris.
For the defense?
James DeWiggins.
And are you Mr. Jewell?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
None, Judge.
Any objections from the defense?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Jewell, I'm going to show you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review this document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. and First Amendment motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review those documents with your attorney and did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same James Donald Jewell who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2018 CR 1721 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams on February 15th, 2018 for a period of 4 years? Is that you?
That is correct.
State?
In the amended motion, violation of condition number 2, on or about the 27th day of November 2019 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, James Donald Jewell, did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the supervision officer in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
The state would waive and abandon the remaining allegations.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
None.
Mr. Jewell, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will find violation of condition 2 true. Is there an agreement?
There is.
Review it.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Yes, there is, Judge. We'd ask this court to deny the MTR, continue, but amend to extend the term for 18 months, referral to drug court, and MRT.
Is that the agreement?
It is, Judge.
Mr. Jewell, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then the court will deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to extend you for 18 months. And Mr. DeWiggins, I'm going to need you to write this down. Oh, Ms. Reyes, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, thank you. Did you hear all of it, Ms. Reyes?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so deny the motion, alter and amend to extend for 18 months, a referral to felony drug court, the MRT program. If he's not accepted into felony drug court, then we'll start with ISF. If not ISF, then SATA. If not SATA, then SAFE. And that's the order I want him considered. The court will waive 40 hours of your community service. If you provide proof that you've completed the COVID vaccine, the court is not requiring or demanding anyone to take the vaccine, but if you do, 40 hours will be deducted. I'm seeing in the motion to revoke, even though it wasn't pled true to, you are living in Bexar County, Mr. Jewell, not Comal County, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. I'm going to want random field visits upon release. 2 times per month. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And there'll be regular Zoom reporting. If for some reason you can't report by Zoom, then it will need to be in person. And Rebecca, we'll do the UA hotline upon release for 2 months. And if there are no issues thereafter, it will be regular UAs. All right, Mr. Jewell, if you're accepted into felony drug court will determine your conditions. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Jewell, good luck to you. Try to maintain your sobriety, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1 with probation, and they'll go over conditions with you.
Can I go?
Yes. All right, who is this person on iPhone who's walking?
Judge, may I approach?
Yes.
Could I have a breakout room with my client just to make sure need to go over the paperwork with her?
All right, where is your client?
I believe she's an 8. Beth Martinez?
All right, yes, you can go back to number 8.
Thank you.
Who's the person who's on iPhone who's in the red t-shirt?
Mr. Arturo Aguilar.
All right, Norma, you want to get Mr. Aguilar's attorney back?
Yes, ma'am.
And to the clerks, could I have the court's file on Arturo Aguilar, please? All right, and then Robert Maurer on Mr. Watson.
Yes.
Do you need to confer with the state or no?
Judge, I have not even read a file on this guy. I've got no discovery.
Oh, no, I'm just asking. These are questions that must be asked, Mr. Maurer.
Judge, if you can just let me talk to Norma and get a couple weeks, and then I'll see what I can do about downloading the offense reports. Is Gaiman out now? Because I don't want to contact him and ask him for his file if I know he's not been sounding good the last couple of times I've seen him.
Yes, now, Norma will tell you what the medical issues are, but on Mr. Watson, we're going to reset it for November 16th. If you want it on the docket sooner than that, just let us know.
Yeah, Hunter, are you handling this case or somebody else? On Andre Watson, it's a Berg Hab.
All right, let me see where they are.
Once I get the file, I'll just email somebody and find out who's handling it.
Okay, is Andre Watson, the burglary of the habitation, is that criminal trial division or family violence?
It should be CTD.
Yeah, it's not coded family violence.
Okay, so it may be Hunter, but again, Hunter is being transferred to another court.
Okay, all right, well, I'll get once I read the reports, I'll figure out who's handling it.
See, I said Hunter's name twice and he appears.
Like magic, Shazam.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
All right, Mr. Maurer, if you could go back to room number 3 and tell your client what his new court date is for me, please.
I'm sorry, you said November 16th, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And then Norma, you can let them know that L6 can go back. Yes?
Do I need to go back and talk to Norma after I talk to him?
If you need to, do you need to speak with Norma again?
No, I've got the dates. That's okay. I'll get it.
All right, yes. If you just go to number 3 and let him know, we'll bring him back on November 16th at the latest, maybe earlier.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, who are the parties on Gerardo? Isaiah Gerardo?
That's me, Your Honor.
And who's the prosecutor?
Marcus.
All right, and Mr. Gerardo, if you can find a stable spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna go inside.
Thank you.
Judge, while I have you for here a second, I'm here on Mr. Ramirez too, Vicente Ramirez, and I will get to him after this plea, if that's okay.
Oh, no, that's fine. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 6430A, State of Texas versus Isaiah James Gerardo. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
William Dwight Chumbley.
And are you Mr. Gerardo?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Sanders, any objections?
No, Judge.
Mr. Chumley, any objections?
No.
Mr. Gerardo, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I'm getting a call. I'm about to hang it up. My fault.
Okay.
But yes, ma'am, I did sign it.
Counsel, I'm showing you what's entitled Discovery Acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Gerardo, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Judge, we're proceeding on count 1, waiving counts 2 and 3.
Any objections?
No objections.
Mr. Gerardo, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you
Yes, ma'am.
understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with aggravated robbery? That's a first-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a
Yes.
$10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, ma'am, I believe so.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I believe that.
Mr. Gerardo, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, no, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on count 1. There's a $1,000 fine, an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution to Josue or Josue, Josue Ramirez, Jason Waddell, Waddell, Seth Hedman, Hemond, Tyler Twyman, Twyman. I'm sorry, not to Twyman. There's to be no contact with Jose Ramirez, Jose Waddell, Seth Hedman, and Tyler Twyman. And so the record is clear. Restitution is only to Jesus Ramirez, Jason Waddell, and Seth Hedman. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 7 years, that there be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours of community service restitution, and the MRT course. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged in the indictment in count 1, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? You may want to speak with your attorney and ask your attorney as opposed to the person who's with you, who may or may not have a law degree. I don't know.
He's pleading guilty, Your Honor.
We can go off the record. Mr. Gerardo, for some reason, people always ask advice for legal things to people who are not attorneys. And the way I try to explain it to people, for example, right now, if the doctor was thinking about taking a kidney because they're saying, well, this kidney is the one that needs to go, I don't think you would turn to the person next to you and say, hey, do you think the one that should go, the doctor's saying it's the right kidney, but do you think it's the left kidney? You see what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
All right. So anytime you need to stop, Mr. Gerardo, to speak with your attorney, just let the court know.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So your attorney says that you're actually pleading guilty to count 1. Are you pleading guilty, not guilty, or no contest to count 1?
Guilty.
All right. And defense, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Yes, Judge, the state offers State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any
No
objections?
no objections, Your Honor.
And Mr. Gerardo, am I saying your last name correctly?
Yes, it's Hudalo, but that sounds about right.
No. Sometimes the J's and the double L's throw me off. So Gerardo.
Hudalo, yeah.
I know I'm still messing it up. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
All
Understand.
right, thank you. I'm going to show you what's a document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, but the court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is there a reason deferred adjudication is recommended in this case?
Well, Your Honor, basically it's my client's age and what he's been doing since his arrest. He's stayed out of trouble. He has gotten full-time employment with Rosemary Catering, which is a great company, and he's very happy there. They're happy with him. Actually, he doesn't start full-time for another 2 weeks. He's living at home with his father, who is got a home, pays a mortgage, and is watching over his son. I think he's learned a valuable lesson about the types of people he hangs out with and the stupid things that they can get themselves into. I think the court he'll be willing to do whatever the court thinks is necessary for him to complete this satisfactorily. I don't know of any drug issues or alcohol issues. I've never, when I've spoken to him, never had that come up. I've asked him several times, are you having drug problems? And both his father and him deny that. Your Honor, for all those reasons, I think the deferred offer is a very fair offer. I hesitate that the term of years is 7, but that's what we agreed to. But anything you could do to help with the costs involved in probation would be very wonderful too, Your Honor.
Mr. Gerardo, why are you doing crazy things like this?
Like he said, hanging out with the wrong people and just my mindset wasn't right.
Let me explain something to you. When if he does, when your co-defendant, Tyler Twyman, I guess that's one of the co-defendants, when he comes before me and I ask him, why is he doing stupid stuff? You know what he's going to tell me? Hanging out with the wrong people. And you know what I'm going to say? Well, who are these wrong people? Give me some name. And he's going to say Isaiah. So everybody who's with a group of people doing wrong things are always saying they're hanging out with the wrong people when they themselves are the wrong people.
Yes, ma'am.
So how far did you go in school?
I finished high school. I have my high school diploma.
All right. Why do you think it's okay to take what doesn't belong to you?
I don't think it's all right.
Then why would you do it?
I have no comment for that. I wasn't thinking at the time, honestly.
Well, I mean, you are thinking, because you see, when you take something that doesn't belong to you, there's a thought process to it. It may be a quick thought process. For example, the shirt you're wearing. If I wanted to take that, I would be like, that's a nice shirt. I don't have it. I want it. Let me take it. And I take it. That's me making a decision, thinking about it, and taking it. They want you to do the MRT course. I don't know what people missed when they were in preschool, elementary, kindergarten, but you're not supposed to take things that do not belong to you.
You're all right.
And where are you zooming from?
My father's house.
Seems like you have a nice place to stay. I don't know why you were not living with your father before. Why were you not living with your father before?
I was living with my aunt, going to school downtown, and me and my mom and dad used to just get into it when I was 18, and I just wanted to get myself away from the situation and try to better myself.
No, usually people, when they leave homes, there's one or two reasons. One, maybe Child Protective Services has been called, and that's not a good home. But a majority of what I'm seeing in this court is teenagers leaving home because they want to pretend like they're grown. And they're not grown in the sense that they can't support themselves. That's why they go live with their aunts or couch surf. How old are you?
20, ma'am.
And you have children?
No, ma'am.
Well, that's a good start. I guess I'm not supposed to say that, Brenna, but a 20-year-old who has this case pending and does not have their life in order and keeps hanging around bad people should not be having children right now. So what are you planning to do with the rest of your life?
Well, I want to save money up and get some good clippers and join barber school and cut hair. Try to open up my own shop with my friend.
How much are good clippers?
They range. There's cheap clippers that I could start off with, but I want good clippers so I could get good and detailed with it. But around maybe 200,
And see,
300.
that's how you got in trouble with these items. You see somebody wearing Louis Vuitton and you want it. Instead of saying, I'm going to get Jordache or I'm going to get the no-name brand, which I don't know why people are caught up on this brand name stuff anyway. It's expensive. And with all the LVs everywhere, sorry, Louis Vuitton, but with the LV everywhere, you're advertising for them. Seems to me they should give you a discount for wearing something with their name on it, advertising for them for free. But that's neither here nor there. All right, 7 years deferred adjudication. And Mr. Chumley, I believe Ms. Reyes. Ms. Reyes, are you there?
I just got back.
All right, this is Isaiah James Gerardo, 2021 CR 6430A. Aggravated robbery, 7 years deferred adjudication, $1,000 fine probated, no contact and restitution, if any, to Josue, Josue Ramirez, Jason Waddell, Waddell, Seth Hamond, Hemond, and then no contact with Tyler Twyman, Twyman. And I'm also going to do a no contact with Chris Lewis, Lewis. Proof of full-time employment within 30 days. No employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. The MRT course. 150 hours of community service restitution. 40 hours of that will be waived if you obtain the COVID vaccine and provide proof. Again, I'm not requiring anyone to get the COVID vaccine. It's completely up to you. But if you do, 40 hours will be waived. And the remaining hours will be waived if you obtain your barber's license, because that's what you say you want to do. If you're serious about it, get serious about it.
Yes, ma'am.
There is to be regular Zoom reporting or in person if you can't Zoom. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
It would be down for marijuana, ma'am.
All right, I want him tested for levels. Random field visits. 2 times per month. And there's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. Is there anything else that he needs, Rebecca?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Gerardo, is there anything else you need from the court?
No, ma'am.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Gerardo, if you were serious about changing, then you should be negative. But I appreciate your honesty, because this offense has occurred in 2020. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
From here on out, every decision that you make to help you with your decisions in life, every decision you make, you need to ask yourself, is this something that can result in me going to prison for life? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with that, we'll close the record. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Probation will meet you there to go over conditions. Mr. Chumley, you can go to number 1 or either take care of your next client.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there a prosecutor available to talk, confer on Ramirez?
Let me rename you.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Oh, that's okay. What's the first name?
Vincente Ramirez.
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
CTD, I believe.
Yes, it is. All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 2. A prosecutor will meet you there.
Thank you.
And Isaiah,
Yes, ma'am.
please go to breakout room number 1.
How can I go to that? It doesn't
Are
show
you on
anything.
iPhone?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Brenda, look at me turning it over to you.
I think if you just tap the screen, you'll see it either on the left-hand corner or on the bottom.
I didn't, last time when I joined the room, it popped up, but nothing's popping up. I don't see
Oh,
anything.
it's because I'm going to move you, but don't go. I just want you to see it pop up. Do you see it pop up?
Oh, yeah, it says host is movement.
All right, so go to that room.
Okay.
Joanne Eccles,
Ma'am, how do I? Oh, okay, I got it.
thank you.
Judge, I was just waiting for some plea paperwork from Marcus Sanders.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Joanne, you didn't chat me.
Yes, I did.
Maybe I was in a breakout room. I don't have anything.
Okay, well, maybe it was because I was in the breakout room.
Oh, yes, guys, when you're in the breakout room and you're chatting from there to people who are not in the breakout room, they won't see it.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry, Marcus. I did send it.
No problem.
I'll go back to my breakout room with my client.
All right. All right, who are the parties on Beth Martinez?
Ed Garza, I'm here for
Who's
the
the
defense.
prosecutor?
Joe Ray, Judge.
Joe Ray.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 8476, State of Texas versus Beth Nicole Martinez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Joe Ray Garcia.
for the defense?
Edward Garza.
And are you Miss Martinez? You're on mute.
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Martinez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Counsel, I'm showing you what's entitled Discovery Acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, we did, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Martinez, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Just one moment. All right, counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Martinez, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review this document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
You understand what you're charged with is aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes,
Did you understand if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement? If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
She does, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Martinez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Next, I'm going to show you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's a $1,500 fine to be probated. The state recommends deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, affirmative finding of a deadly weapon, and there's to be no contact with Belinda Martinez. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the plea bargain agreement?
Excuse me?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Martinez, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 4 years. There'll be 80 hours of community service restitution, MIC-MOUNF evaluation, and the BIPP course. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state? And the court does not have to follow those recommendations.
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
State offers State Exhibit 1 and all its attachments.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Garza, I'm sorry, Ms. Martinez, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver of consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
All right, everyone, just give me a moment, please. All right. Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client, Mr. Garza?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is unfortunately suffering under certain stressful situations right now with respect to her youngest daughter, who is only 4 years old. The father of the child has died just recently, about a month ago, of COVID. And when the child was in my client's mother's custody, CPS got called in because the child was not being well cared for. My client's been served, of course, with probably a motion to terminate. She just got served yesterday. So she has some concerns with respect to how long the McMyoff evaluation might possibly take. And the concern that she has, of course, is being able to, try to go to court with respect to that other issue of the termination of her parental rights with regard to that youngest child. So I think more than likely what she's asking me to do is ask the court if the McMyoff evaluation can be done while she's been released, or if the court is going to want to desire to have it done while she's in custody. But I know that that's one of the concerns she wanted me to express to the court. We do ask the court to follow the recommendation. My client is 26 years old, has got a very unfortunate dysfunctional situation in her household. She has a very supportive father, but obviously, of course, she's not getting along real well with her mother. The other 7-year-old child that she has is being taken care of by the father of that child. So she has a lot of concerns with respect to making sure she gets her life on track so that she can dedicate herself a little more responsibly toward her children.
All right. So when was Child Protective Services involved in this case? Is it fairly recent? Because you're saying she just got served.
Yes, Your Honor. I think it was somewhat fairly recent. My client can probably best address that, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Martinez, when did Child Protective Services open a case?
September 5th.
Okay, so you have a year. I've done a lot of Child Protective Service cases before. Who's your attorney?
I'm not too sure.
All right, well, the papers that you were served with should give you, if it's a legal case, it should let you know who the name of your attorney is, and that attorney, which is separate from Mr. Garza, will be representing you on that matter. How many children do you have?
2.
All right, and so are your father and mother together?
No, but my father was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. So he needs help. He was actually the one who had temporary custody of my daughters while I was incarcerated. But he's too sick to take care of them. So my mother stepped in and was supposed to be taking care of them while I was incarcerated.
All right, and so your child, you said one is placed with their biological father?
Yes.
And where's the other child placed?
She's in a foster home.
Okay, so here's the thing, Ms. Martinez. My experience in the Child Protective Services world is that you need to take care of yourself before you can take care of your children. It's sort of like when you're in an airplane and they say before you put the oxygen mask on anyone that's with you, you need to put the oxygen mask on first so that you can take care of the people who are with you. Because if you fall down, then you're not going to be able to help the next person, okay? So the conditions I'm going to set for you are going to be things that hopefully you will complete and it will help you. Now, the conditions that I set, if Child Protective Services sets the same sort of conditions, which I think they will, the court will accept those conditions for what I'm asking for. Because I'm going to ask for parenting classes, but I know Child Protective Services is going to request that as well. It's going to be very important that you stay in contact with your CPS attorney and stay in contact with Child Protective Services. Understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
I always think that a year is a long time away, but a year goes by quickly. And you don't want to look up 6 months in and you haven't done anything, okay?
Okay.
All right, so this is what the court is going to do. 4 years deferred adjudication, $1,500 fine, that will be probated. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. Affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Belinda Martinez. 80 hours of community service restitution. That will be waived if you successfully complete all CPS requirements. I'm going to want a mouth evaluation. That will be while you're in custody. And here's the thing about that. Child Protective Services are probably going to have you evaluated as well. And Rebecca, if their evaluation is completed before the mouth, and if that's acceptable to probation, we'll go with CPS evaluation. The BIPP course, parenting classes, regular Zoom reporting or in person, field visits 2 times per month. Where are you going to be staying if you're released?
At my grandmother's.
All right, does your grandmother want you there?
Yes.
What is your grandmother's name?
Esther Martinez.
Okay, you're to reside with Esther Martinez upon release. CPS compliance. Random UAs. Field visits 2 times per month, random. Rebecca, is there anything else that she needs?
No, Judge.
Ms. Martinez, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful? I'm sorry?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Because I followed your plea bargaining agreement and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with that, we'll close the record. Ms. Martinez?
Yes, ma'am.
This is what I'm going to tell you. You need to start taking care of yourself. From here on out, everything you do, if you want custody of your child back, you're going to have to focus on doing what's best to potentially obtain custody of your child back. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I know you may think this may seem harsh, but remember, we're all on a journey. Where we start at is not where we're going to end in our journey in this life. So hopefully as we go along, we're improving ourselves, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 1. Probation will meet you there, and probation will go over conditions.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Garza, you can go to a breakout room with her, or you can be excused.
I need to go to another court, so if I may be excused, I appreciate it.
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Good luck, Beth.
Thank you.
God bless
All
you.
right, if you'll go to breakout room number 1, please.
Yes, ma'am.
You're welcome. All right, Hector Garza, I thought you were in court, so your case was being reset.
I'm sorry, Judge, I was actually in the 144th and I had to run out because of the parking meter and now I'm in my truck.
Okay. Are you in trial at the 144?
We were set on the trial docket and I had to wait till all announcements were made and then my case finally got taken care of.
All right, where's your client, Bridget Adams? All right. Have you had a chance to confer with the state?
We did briefly last time, Judge, and it'd probably be a good idea if I speak with them again.
All right, this is family violence. I will send you to breakout room number 2 and a prosecutor will meet you there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good morning,
Right, so
Judge.
yes.
Kelly Green. I'm back on Arturo Aguilar. I was able to get a hold of my client. He is online and the case is fairly new and the state wanted a little bit more time to look into the underlying offense before they make an offer.
All right, Norma, on Arturo Aguilar.
Junior.
Yes. Can we get a reset date? And where is Mr. Aguilar? He's not on this Zoom.
He was online. Yeah, he's on Zoom.
Well, all I see is a fan whirling. I don't see him on the screen.
That's all I saw too, but I did talk to his family member on the phone, so.
You need to unmute Mr. Aguilar.
No, it's because I was in a break room, man.
All
Why
right,
were
there
you late
are.
for
Okay.
court?
Because I didn't even know I had court. I mean, I bonded out, but there's no court date whatsoever on it.
Yeah, there is a court date. And here's the thing, when people bond out, you need to call and find out when your next court date is, instead of thinking that, oh, nobody will remember this. So Norma, can I have a reset for Mr. Aguilar?
The 16th, Judge.
All right, we'll see you back on November 16th. Do you realize that's your date, Mr. Aguilar?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're excused. We'll see you on November 16th.
Yes, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Dwight Chumley, you're back on Victor Ramirez.
Yeah, I need to relay an offer to him, to Mr. Ramirez, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Ramirez, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If you had your kids on the bus.
Judge, did you need me to go to 3 also?
He is on, no, it's just Dwight Chumley and his client.
Okay.
Sorry. I see what I did there. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes,
Thank
sure. Brenna, would you like to push through on the last? Well, just 1 second. I'll ask you off screen. Everyone give us a break. Norma, we're going to take our break. And we'll be back at 2 o'clock.
Okay, Judge, I sent you an email earlier regarding the defendant that's in the courtroom.
Okay, just one moment. Let me stop live stream. Everyone, the court is going to take its recess. We'll be back at 2 p.m. Don't worry, your cases will be heard. All right.